in Baltimore and W Hall of Fame celebrations. This guy's one of my Super Bowl week Hall of Famers. I've always enjoyed having him on. He's played for some friends of mine in the National Football League. He's traveled the world. I think he always laughs when I call him a bon vivant, but I think when I've looked up the meaning of that, I think that's what he is. We welcome back former NFL linebacker, the man, the myth, the legend, Donnie Jones, joining us here on behalf of Bank of America and their Payback a Friend Day. I'm figuring you're calling me back to pay me back for all the great conversations we've had at Super Bowls. What's going on? I'm sure you've been on a plane doing something fun recently, right?
No, I've been doing a bunch of stuff. I actually just flew in from Chicago, and I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was like, we were talking back and forth about the amount of segments that we had on the airplane, and I realized I have almost 115 segments already through the year, which is crazy, right? Just like been planes back and forth. Those are all domestic legs. So, yeah, maybe I think, you know what? I think Ed Bastian, he actually owes me more than anybody else because I'm just like making a name out of Delta because they just keep hooking it up.
You know what, man? I look you up on Twitter, and anybody can go and follow Dhani on Twitter. It's DHANI Jones. It says adventurer. That's like the first thing. You know, athlete's number 3. Adventurer 1, artist 2, athlete 3. You know, you've really used your platform here as being a former player and a lot of friends in the league to really do some interesting stuff in entertainment. I mean, I have great admiration for those who stretch out, whether it's a straight hand and going and doing morning TV or doing whatever it is that you do, but you know, I don't even think you know where your destination is. You're like a journey guy in a big way, right?
Well, I think that I'm right in the middle of it, right? You don't know if you're what happens, sort of what's going on outside this storm, but right now I'm in the eye of it, right? And and I don't know the directionality. All I know is that I've been very fortunate to be surrounded by great people who plays for some great teams, have some great opportunities, especially CNBC and especially with Bank of America. And, you know, we're sort of in the middle of the culmination of what's happening. Transition doesn't necessarily happen in 2 minutes. Sometimes it takes 2 years. Sometimes it takes 20 years. But I think that, you know, if you do the right thing, if you say please and say thank you, as Strahan has always taught me, then you'll be well taken care of.
Well, you're here for Bank of America. You're doing a Friends thing, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I just want to get to your travels, and we can talk football. Look, I talk football all day, and I'll get your thoughts on the Ravens and 3-3. Well, one of the things about the league, though, the knee has changed a lot of things. I know you've been an activist. I certainly politically fall more on your side of the fence, but this has been a real mess for everyone, from Goodell through the owners to the Players Association. The fans have had trouble deciphering, all of the military and patriotism and the knee and Colin Kaepernick. This is a very, very weird time, but I'll just say this. Until Colin Kaepernick gets a job in the league, to me, the rest of it's just eyewash, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if it's a mess or if there's been a lot of awareness that's been raised or a lot of conversation that's been derived or a lot of, people explaining really how they feel about it. And I think that's the most important thing that's happened, right? And regardless of how you consume that message, it's out there and people are talking about it. And I think that's the best thing that could have occurred, because we are at a sort of an interesting crux in our lifetime where there are a profound amount of sort of not only thoughts but opinions, and they're all being brought to the front. And whether it's political, whether it's religious, whether it's economical, whether it's government. I mean, there's so many different things that are out there. Now people are finally sort of letting down the guard and talking about it so you can actually see who people are.
He is Donnie Jones. You can follow him out on Twitter. How much football are you watching these days? I mean, I know you've...
I'm watching as much as I possibly can. I've actually gone to a bunch of Bengals games. I've gone to a bunch of Michigan games, even to the point where people are like, "Are you actually working?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm working during the week, and now I get to spend some weekend times watching the games and just having fun with a bunch of friends." So I've been watching as many games as possible, and on the airplane sometimes it's a little bit more difficult because you can't necessarily stream all the games. But when I'm able to, I'm sitting down, watching the games on Sunday, watching games on Mondays, games on Thursdays, games on Saturdays. I mean, you can have your entire week filled with football.
Well, when you lose the Odell Beckhams, you lose the Watts, you lose the Aaron Rodgers, it really does sort of level the playing field in a lot of ways. We've had a lot of injuries here with Marshall Yanda and Brandon Williams, some significant stuff that's really affected the team. And then I go to Minnesota this weekend, right? We're playing the Vikings. Who's been more resilient than them? They're on their third quarterback, and they're in first place. And they don't have the running back either. So this has really been a season about resiliency, even if you're Bill Belichick and you're giving up 35 points a week. Right?
Well, I think every season, isn't every season about resiliency? It just so happens that the big name people are the ones that are going down. Nobody ever hears about the blue collar workers that are in the background that are actually sort of in the trenches, whether it's on defensive line or offensive line, making plays or creating the plays to allow the big name people to sort of get to shine, right? It's just because the Odells and the Aaron Rodgers and such are getting hurt that now this awareness is being raised. So I think it's more than that than anything else. But the league is always about resilience. The league is always about who lasts to the very end and who is actually able to sort of survive and, be built around the team, not necessarily the individual.
Donnie Jones can be followed out on Twitter. He is here on behalf of Bank of America and Payback a Friend Day. And look, I'm on the website right now, and the question is, what's Payback a Friend Day? Tuesday this week here was Payback a Friend Day. Tell everybody about this at Bank of America.
Well, first of all, I know that you probably owe somebody some money because I definitely do as well. But Bank of America, they released this Friends Again report, and it was just talking about how a lot of people have lost relationships and family members have been disowned. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of crazy stories that are out there. And if you go to bankofamerica.com/friendsagain, you can start to see some of those narratives and some of those stories and how people have not been paid back or how people want to get paid. And that's what Payback a Friend Day is all about. It's about making good on the money that you owe people. And if you download the Bank of America app, there's a peer-to-peer lending platform where you can get paid or you can pay people out. And this is a great opportunity to get right with the people that are around you. And
is this a chance for me to say everybody that's ever owed me money in Baltimore, and it would be substantial, that this is time for them to pay up? This is the way for them to do that for me?
Pay up. Download the mobile banking app and just pay people. You know what I mean? Just don't lose friends. I mean, because a lot of times that's what oftentimes destroys relationships.
Well, Friends Again is the hashtag, and it's out at bankofamerica.com and Friends Again. Dhani Jones joining us here. Who's the best team in the NFL, Dhani? Is it the Eagles right now? You ready to say that?
You know what? We're only a couple weeks in. It's hard to discern. I don't really make a prediction until maybe about the 11th or 12th week. I mean, definitely the Eagles are doing well. I mean, they're sitting they're sitting pretty, if you will. But all of a sudden something happens to anybody, and the tides all of a sudden turn. I mean, there's been a lot of teams that have been undefeated or only had one loss at this point, and then all of a sudden gone on to lose every other game. So it's almost impossible. That's what people love so much about football, is because there's so few games that if you make one mistake, it can cause sort of like this whole waterfall effect where, it just a sort of domino effect where they don't get back up on their feet. So I'm going to reserve myself, but I think that the Eagles are doing well.
All right, man, where's your next adventure, dude? I want to plug your television show and everything you're doing, Adventure Capitalist and all this, but yeah, I often wonder when I see you doing stuff, you're doing sort of randomly bizarre stuff, and I wonder where the initial idea comes from and what hits the cutting room floor where Dhani Jones says, I ain't doing that, man, no way.
You know what? Believe it or not, I have said no to a lot of different things.
What's the craziest thing you've ever said no to? Let's start with that.
The craziest thing?
I mean, do you bungee jump? Is there?
I've bungee jumped.
Okay.
I've bungee jumped. My friend wants me to go skydiving. I'm on the fence about that. One of my other friends wanted me to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a 35-foot boat.
No.
That.
Don't mess with water, bro. Don't mess with water.
What do you mean? I can swim.
You can't swim in the Atlantic Ocean. I saw Titanic, for crying out loud.
Look, I'm friends with the men in the gray suit. I'm friends with them.
All right.
They get along with me. I paid them back, so they're all good.
Keep believing you can walk on water. I promise you can't.
But there's a lot of things. But my next adventure, aside from is this working? I'm building my investment firm, Key Capital, and so we've had a great time. And part of the reason why I love doing a venture capitalist is because it gives me an opportunity to invest in other people, right? So the transition has gone from competing in different sports around different countries to now investing in people that have products that contribute to the great outdoors. And that's what a venture capitalist is all about. And so tonight, 10 p.m., CNBC, check it out. Maybe you might be the next person to go out there and have a product on the show.
You got it, bro. We'll see you soon. Good luck with everything with Bank of America, and may all your travels be safe ones. I'll be looking for you with a bow tie somewhere on my television screen on CNBC, man. Thanks for coming on, Donnie.
I appreciate it. Check out bankofamerica.com/friends again.
You got it. We just did. There it is. Bank of America / Yeah, there you go. He is Donnie Jones. You can follow him out on Twitter as well. Always with a good story. I like sitting down with him at the Super Bowl, though, and finding out places he's been that I need to get to. So that'll be our next conversation. You can find me out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn radio app. We do monitor that, update that. Everything's there. It's always live, and it goes wherever you go. Even goes wherever Donnie Jones goes, which is a lot of places. But I know I've listened to WNST in New Zealand, in Australia, in Paris, in London. I didn't go to the website in Dublin. I was too busy. Well, I mean, it was Dublin. I was drinking and watching U2. But I do know we go all over the world as well. We go all over the world on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. And don't forget the Dundalk High Hall of Fame coming up this Friday. If you want to join us over at Costas for a crab cake and a beer, we'd love to do that. We'll be there around 7 o'clock on Friday night. Me and my very, very small family, but hopefully an extended family of Dundalk High people. I'm going to put my Dundalk High jacket on, I think, and wear that on the internet the rest of the week. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.